All right, guys, here is a short trade. I'm trying to scalp $200. We had a run up in the morning. It came down and created the higher low. That's the trend line that you see going up. And as it started to move up, it found resistance and that created the triangle. So I'm short right now, and my target is right where the trend line is going up, or right around $200. This is about an hour after the open, and I'm watching the market internals. I don't think there's going to be enough strength to take it up, at least not right now, maybe after lunchtime. So as you can see, there was a little bit of follow through to the downside, but it looks like they're trying to push it up. With these particular trades, you have to be patient. I'm willing to hold trades for, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. It just depends. So I'm just going to hold this, and hopefully it doesn't break the trend line to the upside, because then I'm going to get stopped out of the trade. So right about $20 profit. The most I was up, I think, was right around 80 to 100. But it seems like there's a little bit pressure. As you can see, the red candle, it's coming down a little bit, and I believe that the pressure is going to overtake the buyers. Right around $20 still, and it looks like it's getting ready to break. There we go, 130, and just a few more points. 155, 170, and profit target right around 225. There we go. Good trade. All right, guys, I'm short in a trade right now. This is a little bit after the open, and as you can see, those two blue lines on the chart, that's a triangle. They tried to push the price back up, but ultimately the price was pushed back down, and it didn't go through the upper trend line. It instead broke down through the S2 level, which is the support 2. So now I'm looking for some follow through down to the downside to the profit target, which is 7,052. But right now the price is kind of already extended down past the S2 level. Usually you don't short down here, but this is right around the open, and we did have the trend line break, and there's a lot of volume, so I'm expecting some type of follow through to the downside. But as you can see, they're trying to push it up. We got a little bit of follow through. I'm kind of tempted to take profits right here. It's almost there. And they keep trying to push it up. I'm looking at the market internals right now. If you take the course, you will learn about the market internals. There's a lot of pressure. That's why I'm holding this right now. If the market internals was showing movements to the upside, I'd probably get out the trade right now and take this 250. But I'm going to hold for my profit target. It's almost there, and we should be getting there shortly. Somewhere between $290 and $300. So man, this is taking a while. Hopefully it can reach the profit target. I'm gonna hold, and I want to be patient, and there we go. Profit target was hit. So that was about 305 minutes, guys. Good trade. All right, guys, today I made about $270. My first trade was a loser, but then I was able to catch a bigger picture Fibonacci retracement. Also was right around a big picture trend line. So I'm going to show you both of the live trades, and then afterwards I'm going to show you the setup that I took. So with that, let's go to the charts.
These are my memories, waking up with no energy, all of my bills weighing down on me, battle depression, anxiety. These are my memories. 9 to 5 wasn't helping me, girlfriend put an L on me, thinking this can't be the life for me. So I made a change, catch me in Bali, I met a Jane. Pretty girl say, will you marry me? Keep holding me down, baby, we will see. She be loving me. These are my memories. Fulfill your destiny, yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna show you guys this
setup that I took today to make some money. The market opened up with a major gap up. It opened up, around this area right here, 76.90. However, yesterday's close was at this purple line down here, around 76.15 area. So we had a major gap up. So what I did was I put in the levels from the close, and the bigger picture Fibonacci retracement was going to fall somewhere around this area. This is also the bigger picture trend line. That's why you have to do your pre-market study. As you can see right here, earlier this morning, I drew this bigger picture trend line, and that's right where the price started to bounce. So once I saw on the NQ that we were at that bigger picture Fibonacci level, and that was right around this pink trend line, which is the bigger picture, I saw it, try to break out, and then it came back to gather some strength, and then it started to take off. It was very slow because, as you can see down here, you see this orange line down here, that's the average volume, and this was below the average volume. So I was like, I know I'm going to have to hold this trade for a while. So I just left and went to the gym and just checked it about 45 minutes later, and what do you know, it pretty much kept the intraday trend line, and then it bounced up to the profit target. Once again, I made 300 on the trade, and I finished the day with 267 because my first trade was a loser. But just remember, today we have to give credit to the pre-market study. This major big picture trend line is what alerted me to the bounce. I took the trade, set my stop loss, and made some money. So with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right, guys, today I made about $1,275. My first couple trades, I lost 230, but I put more money in my account, so that's not really that big of a deal anymore. I was able to catch a Dow Jones short, and it broke all the way down. And so to my early subscribers, I just wanted to tell you thank you for subscribing to my channel, and thanks for the support. And I want to tell all you young traders out there that are struggling, if you have anybody in your life that's hating on you and telling you that you ain't gonna make it, man, to hell with them. You gotta believe in yourself. Study those charts, study those setups, and learn how to manage those damn emotions, and you're gonna be making this money. So with that, let's go to the charts.
I'm a modernized hitter. If she look twice, guaranteed I'm gon' get her. If she got a man, brothers, I don't give a damn. If she says she got a man, then I won't mess with her. So feel like when you come in, so she want a round of that gringo loving. So I booked a plane, cause I had to do my thing. Now I'm at the baggage claim, like where's my luggage? On a side note, she just want me for the money. Tell me what I don't know, that these hoes will never love me. Easy pill to swallow, one thing that I do know, if I ever meet a righteous woman, girl, I promise to keep you. I promise, baby, I'll never leave you. Never let you get away, even if you're far away. I'll travel the whole world with the faith I'll find you someday. I'm a modernized hitter. If she look twice, guaranteed I'm gon' get her.
All right, guys, this is the second step of the tutorial. You got a help guide right here. You'll have your license key right here. When you do the Top Step Trader Combine, that's where you're going to put your license key in. And, it just kind of helps you out with some things. So then I already showed you guys the connections. The workspaces is like once you create your chart setup, you can save the workspace. That way when you load NinjaTrader again, you don't have to keep doing the same thing. It's already saved. You have tools, which is like a lot of different settings that you can go through. You can go to options. You can change your time zone and things of that nature. But you have trading, strategies, which we don't do that. Automated trading, that's not really important. Market data, like most of the stuff that's already there is what you would want. So yeah, you can go through that. Then you have you know, if you want to add an indicator, so let's say you know, you have to add something like the volume delta, you're going to go to import right here, and you're going to go to Ninja script add-on, and what that's going to do is there we go. It's just going to bring up like all your zip files, and so, you know, if you have a zip folder like this one right here, auto trend line, this is something that I tested out. You would then open that, and then you would add it, and then you would restart the program. So I just wanted just to show you guys the tools. And then we have new right here. We have you know, a basic entry, which we don't do that. We have the super dom that I told you guys about. You know, where you can see the different contracts. We have alerts log. We don't really mess with that stuff. You have a trade performance, so if you want to see how good you've been trading, you can configure that and take a look at your profit and loss over like a week or a month or a certain day. So you can do that. You can do that on your own. So before we get to the charts, I need you to go to tools right here, guys, and I need you to go to instruments. This is very important. And the first thing we're going to do is type in ES, and you're going to see right here E-mini S&P futures. We're going to go to edit, and you want to make sure that the trading hours is CME US Index Futures ETH. I had it one time where it was on this one, the default 24/7, and what that did was it closed the market at midnight, and it totally messed up all my pivot points and my open high low and the close, you know, those important price levels. It just totally screwed it up. So you guys want to make sure that your chart, your instrument for the ES is CME US Index Futures ETH. Okay, that's very important. And then you're going to do the same thing for the NQ. Okay, E-mini NASDAQ 100. We're going to go to edit, and same thing, CME US Index Futures ETH. And then you're going to do the same thing for the Dow Jones, which is the YM, if you're going to be looking at it. And you just want to make sure and verify that these say CME US Index Futures ETH. That's very important. And so now, guys, we're going to get to the chart. So we're going to come to chart, and we're going to click on our instrument. On this particular one, it's the ES0319. When you are doing a fresh install, they should have like the most recent one. If not, you might have to key it in. You can just type in ES0319. And as you can see, it comes up or whatever. Now I already have my templates, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a 1 in front of all of them when I'm doing it with you, just, you know, so I can go through it with you. So we're gonna put 5 minute and trading hours. Once again, use the instrument settings. That's the CME US Index Futures ETH. Or you can just if you're having an issue, then you can just put it on the actual chart in the data series, but it's already on use instrument settings. For bar width, I do 6. 3 is a little bit too skinny for me. My price marker, you know, you can put it black. I'll just put like a bright color really quick. And plot executions down here, guys, I will put do not plot, because if you do that, you're going to have like a lot of stuff on your chart, like all the trades that you made, and it can get really convoluted. So I would just put do not plot. But you can look at it just to see, and you can make changes. I'll show you. So just press OK. This up here, the template, we'll just leave that at none or blank, because I'm going to show you guys how to configure. So press OK. And so that's going to give us our chart. Okay, so here is a ES chart. And so if you want to make any changes to what we did, you got to come up here and it says data series. Okay, and this is how you make the changes. So you see how this is pink over here, that price marker. Let's say you don't want it to be pink. Let's say you want like a light blue color or like a teal color. You can go ahead and press OK, and now it's a blue color. Now, one thing that was kind of throwing me off with NinjaTrader was how pronounced these gray lines are. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here to properties, and we're going to make some changes to the colors. And this is grid line horizontal. Instead of it being silver, we're going to do background medium gray, apply. And you see, you can see the lines, but they're not as dark. And then so on the vertical line, we're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to go to background slate gray, background medium gray. And so as you can see now, guys, we still have some lines on the chart, but they're not all in the way. Okay, so you know that's what I pretty much did. This thing right here, always on top, I would uncheck that, because if you want to like bring up your internet browser or a different chart, this thing will stay on top, and it will never go into the background. So always on top. And I would say you want to show the tabs, which is going to show the tabs down here. So you see how it says ES0319. Now if you don't want to, or you know, if your screen is a little crowded and you want a little extra room, then you know, you can do that and make the tabs go away just like that. It's about maybe like a ½ inch, but I'm gonna go ahead and show the tabs. So that's pretty much it on this one, on the properties. Once again, that's right here. Strategies, we don't really mess with that. But the data series, that's kind of just, you know, the data of the chart. So that's pretty much you know, it as far as just setting up the basic chart, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and start configuring the chart. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to right click this, and we're going to go to templates, and we're going to go to save as. And as you guys can see, I already have a few, but a lot of those I don't even use. So I'm just going to put one. Now you don't have to put one because you're doing a clean install, but we're just going to call this blank. So I'm putting one blank, but you should just be putting blank. Okay, but I'm gonna put a 1 because I already have my stuff named. So we're gonna put a blank. And so whenever, it doesn't matter what chart you have, you can upload a blank chart just to look at the price action. So what I'm gonna do, just to show you, is I'm gonna load blank with the price levels. So that's going to load up. So now you see, and you know, this might be a little bit crowded for something I'm looking for. So I might say, you know what, I just want a blank chart. So I'm gonna go to one blank, and boom, I got my blank chart. Okay guys, so let's go to the next one. Alright guys, so this is the blank chart. You should already have this saved. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which is the RSI. So we're going to come up to this button up here, and these are your indicators. And this has probably a lot of different indicators, probably close to 100. Most of them are pretty much useless. So for this example, guys, we're going to use the RSI. So click RSI and click add. And so I don't mess with any of this. We calculated on the price change. And so when you look at it, I'll show it to you. It has these blue, the blue and the yellow. The yellow is kind of like the average. I don't really use the average because it just creates too much clutter on the screen for me, so I go to average and I make it transparent, so it's golden right now, like a golden color. I'm going to make that transparent, and then I'm going to save the preset, meaning whenever I do that again, it's going to keep these settings so I don't have to keep changing the gold to transparent. And then I'm going to press OK. So this is my RSI only chart, and I use this to look at the big picture, mainly like the 4 hour and like you know, the 60-minute chart. I don't use it like all the time, but I still use it. So put RSI only. Once again, I'm gonna put a 1 in front of mine. Okay, so, and this is my RSI only chart, so I can go to the you know, to the 60-minute, and you know, I can see the RSI is way down here. Once again, 70 is overbought, and as you can see, it dropped from there, and you can see down here in that range, it's oversold, and we had a bounce on the chart. Then it came down into oversold territory again, and we had another bounce. Once again, it's not guaranteed to happen, but this is the RSI only. And so another thing that I wanted to tell you guys is you have to configure the 4 hour. So it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30, 60. I think I had to do the 240, which is the 4 hour. So come here to configure, and then what you're going to do is just add, and you know, type in 240, and you'll have it right here. And then so you'll be able to choose it. That's the 4 hour, or you know, the bigger picture. So go ahead and do that. And so yeah, this is pretty much the RSI only. I use it for when I'm looking at the bigger picture. So now I'm gonna take you guys to do the daily. Okay, we're gonna do it right now. So we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna come to day 1. And so this is the daily chart. Each one of these bars represents the daily. And so I only use the moving averages on the daily chart, because this is what everybody uses at like CNBC. You have the 50 moving average. You have the 200, the 100, and it's important that you guys, on a smaller time frame, like a 5-minute chart, they use what's called a EMA, which is an exponential moving average. However, when you're doing bigger picture, like on a daily chart, you want to use SMA, which is simple moving average. Okay, so we're going to add 3 of these: the 50, the 100, and the 200. So the second one, and we're going to add the third one. Okay, so the first one, that's going to be the 50 period. This is like a short-term daily. We can make that a golden color. Then we're going to have the 100. Okay, now the most important are like the 50 and the 200, but I still use the 100. But like the death cross is when like the 50 crosses the 200. Okay, but I still like to have the 100 on there. Okay, so I'm gonna make this one like a pinkish type color. Okay, we'll do hot pink, just, you know, a bright color. And then we're gonna do the 200 moving average. Okay, this one is real important. Once this moving average breaks, that's not good to the downside, but it's really good to the upside. Okay, and so I'm gonna make this like a you know, like a light blue color. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and apply all of that, and we're gonna put that on the chart. Okay, So we have the 50, then we have the 100, which is the pink, and then we have the 200. Okay, now if you guys look historically, you know, these are where the averages you know, kind of have been at. It kind of came down, you know, right around that 200, which is the blue line, kind of hung around the 200. Then it comes down, broke the 200, then kind of came back up. Then as you can see, it came right around that 200, came back down. And so that 200 is really like a stronghold level. You see how it comes down, bounces off the 200, comes down, bounces off the 200. So once again, the 50 is like the short term, which this one is the 50 right here. Then we have the 100, which is the pink, and then we have the 200. And so I use this as part of my pre-market preparation. And so what I'll do is I'll put like a line on the chart right where it is. So if the price, you know, gets close to that, I know that the price will probably bounce off of that. So that's all we use this for when we're looking at bigger picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this daily SMA, which is daily single moving average. Okay, so now guys, you should have 3 templates. You should have the one blank or blank. You should have daily SMA and RSI or RSI only. Now the daily SMA, it has the RSI and the moving averages, but the RSI only has the RSI. Okay, so with that guys, now we're gonna go to the next one. All right guys, so here we are once again at the daily SMA. Another thing that I wanted to tell you guys really quick is, you see how this stuff says SMA up here? If you don't delete this, all of your indicators will be up here and it gets in the way. So what you do is you go to the indicator, and then where it says label, you delete it. Okay, you delete the label, and this is for all indicators. Okay buddy, and you press OK, and then now it's gone. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our regular chart. So we're coming back to indicators, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove everything. Okay, so we're going to be right back at a blank chart. I'm going to show you some indicators that I'm using really quick. So this right here guys is going to be our main chart, like the main chart, the main 5-minute chart that we use on a daily basis. So we're going to go back to the 5-minute, and so now we're going to start adding indicators. So the first thing we're going to add is volume. So I have this thing called superior volume, but then you have regular volume. You don't have to buy exactly what I have, but VOL, that's the volume. And so this is how it's going to look. So let that load up. So that's my superior volume. I haven't configured it, but the regular volume is down here. So that's what you should be doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the superior volume just so we have the regular volume. And so this is how it looks when the market is open. Okay, that's how it looks, and that's what you should have. So the second thing that you're going to add below that is the RSI. Okay, we have the RSI only chart, but the RSI is also on our main chart. So you can delete the label only if it appears up here. If it appears down here, it ain't really that big of a deal. So we're going to go ahead and add that. See how it says RSI right here? That's not that big of a deal. We're going to make this smaller because if it's too wide, it's going to get in the way of the screen. So you want to have your volume and your RSI down here. You can pick any size you want. If you want it bigger, then make it bigger, or if you want it smaller, then make it smaller. As long as you can kind of see it a little bit and you can read the number over here, then you're good. So the next thing we're going to add after that is the current day open, high, low. So we're going to come back here. We're going to go down to the C, current day open, high, low. Okay, so we want to show the high, yes. We want to show the low, yes. And we want to show the open. Okay, and so what we're going to do is the current open. As you guys can see, mine is like a purple, medium purple, and it's a dash, and the plot is square and the width is 3. Same thing for the current high, which is a sea green. I'm not going to do this for every single one. You can copy it if you want, but you can do whatever you want. If you want yours to be a different one, then you can go right ahead. So we're going to put that on the screen. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna play with the purple one real quick just so you can see it. So I'm gonna go to the purple, which is the open, and I can make the width 8. So let's apply it, and now it's a lot wider up here. So I'm gonna put that back to a 3. Okay, and I can make it a solid line, which I would not recommend. I can make it a dot line, kind of like that, but mine is a dash. That's just the way I like it. You can do like a cross pattern where it's like little like crosses. You see what I'm saying, guys? But mine is a square. Okay, so that's how I rock mine. Okay, so I got the low is red, I got the open is a light purple, and I got the green as the high. Okay, so up to this point we have volume, RSI, and current day open, high, low. Oh, another very important thing is unchecked price markers. If you have that checked, you'll have all of these markers over here. I'll show you. You see how all of this can like get in the way? If you got your regular price marker and you got all of these price markers in the way, it can really get in the way. So I can see it on the chart. I don't need price markers, okay? Because your main price marker is going to be on the data series. You see? You see how this is the blue? You don't want your main price marker over here having all this stuff in the way, because then when it gets close to that price, you ain't going to be able to see it. So it's very important, guys, that when you guys do this, the current day, also for everything else like the pivots, which I'm going to show you, you got to make sure that you uncheck that price marker box. That way it's just the regular price marker. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to add is the prior day open, high, low, close. So we're going to go down and prior day open, high, low, close. And once again, you see there's no price markers. Okay, and this one is a little bit different. Now the prior open, I don't have any need for that. I'm only worried about today's open. Yesterday's open is not important. So up here where it says show the open, we're going to uncheck that. Okay, because today's open is the purple line. Yesterday's open doesn't matter. But yesterday's high, low, and close, that does matter. Okay, so we're going to put those on the chart really quick. Okay, so you see this dotted line, that's yesterday's low. Okay, and this purple line up here, that's yesterday's close, and this green line up here is yesterday's high, but this is from this day. This is a different day, so it must be higher. Let's look. Yeah, it's way up here. Okay, so this was yesterday's from this day. On this day right here, the day before that, this was the high and this was the low. You could see it was kind of stuck in a range, but those are very important price levels. Now you see these are dots. See how it's dot 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 dot, but my current is dash 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 dash. So that's how I know the difference between the two. All the dashes, the red dash and the green dash and the purple dash, that's today. Today's open, today's low, today's high. Whereas the dots, the red dots, yesterday's low, the purple dots, yesterday's close. And remember, this is a darker purple because, like, as I explained it, when you close the door, you know, it's darker, and when you open the door, it's lighter in the house because the light comes in. That's how I separate the open from the close from the open. And as you can see, yesterday's close was the double top resistance. It came down, came back up, did the double top, broke the trend line right here. Okay, and the market just tumbled all the way down. Okay, so it's very important. You know, you saw that double top, got that indecision candle, you got those reversal candles, got that trend line break, and it's off to the races to the downside. So for this one, once again, you have to do it on your own. But once again, we're not showing the open because this is yesterday. On the current day, which is today, we do want to show the open. But yesterday's open doesn't matter. But yesterday's close, high and low, that does matter. And so scale justification to the right, yes, it's visible. And so I have green, I have a dot. So instead of a square like the last one, it's a dot. And my dash style is solid. Okay, so you can just you can do whatever you want to do. You can choose your own colors, but the main thing that I would tell you is today, whatever today is, make it a dash, and whatever yesterday is, make it a dot, so you can tell the difference. Okay, so now we have the volume, the RSI, the current day open, high, low, and the prior day's high, low, close. Okay, and so the next thing that I'm going to add is the current week high, low. So I'm gonna come here on the resources page under my indicators. It's this one right here. Okay, and it says the current week open, high, low will draw lines on your chart, open, high, low for the given week. And so what this does, this link is on the resources page under Rob's indicators, and it's free. It's free, and you can just download it. It only has like 33 downloads, so I guess it's not that popular, but it's like sometimes in these indicator stores, there's a lot of indicators that do the same thing, so there might be a different one that's more popular. But it's very important to me, and I'm gonna show you why. So it's under this folder, my indicators, and I have the current week open, high, low. The prior week open, high, low, that's not really important. I just don't use it. You want to make sure that you're not using like too many indicators, but the current week open, high, low is beneficial. So to show the current week open, that doesn't matter, but these two right here show the current week high and show the current week low, and we're starting from Monday. That's just how I do it, because that's when the stock market opens. And as you can see, I have like a yellow color or orange, and these are triangles. Okay, so we're gonna put these on the chart. Okay, you can see right there. And for price markers, that should actually be off. And so what this does, guys, is it puts these yellow triangles, you can see, along the low, and that tells me the low for the week. So now that the low is up here, you see how this dash line is today's low. Now that low may break, okay, but the low of the week, or the range of the week, is way down here. You see what I'm saying? And so if you see these yellows start to break, that means you're breaking the low for the week. So if it's like Thursday and we're breaking the low from Tuesday or Monday, that means we're really going down to the next level, because breaking the low for today, that's still a big deal, breaking the low. But as you can see, these was the low for the week. You see what I'm saying? And so that tells you that the market is really moving down to the next level. So breaking the low for the day is still, the market is moving, but you can see down here, this is the low of the week. And so if we break that level, that's how I know the market is really in a fear, and it's really in panic mode. Okay, so that's why I have that current week open, high, low. And once again, this is it's let's look, it's orange, a dot, a triangle up, width is 3, and the other one for the low, they're the same exact color because it's just for the week. It's triangle down. Okay, and so if you look up here, you can see up at this high, which was yesterday's high, that's the high for the week. And that's very important in my personal opinion. Okay, so now the last thing that we are going to add are the pivot points. Okay, so we're going to come here and we're going to go to pivots. Okay, we're going to choose daily range. We're going to choose calculated from intraday data. Okay, I have width 20, on bar close. Once again, no price markers, so we're gonna put it on with the price markers. And as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the chart. You have all of these price markers on the chart. I really don't like that, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those price markers off. The only thing I like by my price on over here is the actual price. So we're going to take those price markers off, and I use the whatever is already there. So yellow, blue, 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 red, red, red. I already used that. Okay, so one thing that I would like to say is that sometimes the pivots, like when I first started, they would be off. And so if you use the daily bar, so you see how this R1 is at 2600. If you use the daily bar, it's gonna move. Okay, watch, see how it went from 2600, now it's like 2603. Let's go ahead and look. So it went from 2600 to like 2604, okay, or 2603. But if we put it back to the intraday data, this is what I use. You can see it goes right back down to 2600. So if you guys see on my screen that I have my pivots and your pivots are off, then you might have to change it for some reason. I've had like some weird stuff, not lately, but it happened maybe like once or twice when I first started, where I had to change to daily bar or change it back to intraday data. So I use intraday data and it's fine. But if you ever have confusion about the pivots and your pivots, they look like they're off or whatever, like especially if you're looking at my chart in the war room, what you want to do is you want to come here. You want to come to investing.com, okay? And you want to click on indices futures, okay? So I'm going to show you. It's right here. Indices futures. So I'm just going to right click it for you, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on S&P 500. That's what we're doing. That's what we're trading. And then you're going to come to technical, okay? You're going to come to technical, and then you're going to come to daily, and then the pivot points are right here, okay? And we use the classic. So this is saying the pivot point is at 25.65. So now we're going to go back to the chart. Where's my pivot point? Right around that 25.65. This is like 25.66, which that's pretty much the same, okay? It might be off by a point, that's fine, as long as like the general area. The R1 is 2600 and the R2 is 2648. So the R1 for me is right at 2600, and the R2 is at 2649, like 2650, like it's in that range, okay? And the S1 is at 2517, and that's right down here. You can see it's like 2517, okay? So these pivot points are pretty much on par with this investing.com website. So I haven't had any issues. I'm just telling you guys, if you look at my screen and your pivots are off, you want to come to this screen just to verify at investing.com indices futures, and then you might have to play with it a little bit, but in my personal experience, the calculated from intraday data is better than the use of the daily bars, okay? And so this is what we're gonna call regular, or you can call it whatever you want. So this is my regular chart. This is what I use the majority of the time, okay? Now what I want you guys to do now is you can come down here to this tab and you can duplicate in another tab, and then you can change it. So I can come here, I can make this a blank chart, so one blank, okay? So now, and then I can change this to a 1 minute. All right, so now, like if you have the volume delta, okay, now I'm gonna go to my indicators, Ninja volume delta, as you can see, bang. All right, so now I got the volume delta right here, you see. And then let's say I want another chart. All right, so but I don't want the volume delta. I want this to be you know, I want this to be a RSI only chart, okay? RSI only. And I want this to be like a 30-minute chart. You see what I'm saying, guys? So you can play around with this. I got my regular 5 minute, I got my 1 minute volume delta. You see what I'm saying? It's 122 right now, moving higher. I got my big picture 30 minute. You know, I got my big picture trend lines going down. You see what I'm saying? And you can rotate. You could say, well, you know, I think I'm a duplicate this in a new window. I'm gonna take this one right here and I'm gonna put this on my other screen. So I'm just gonna get that off my screen and take it to my other screen. All right, and then, you know, matter of fact, I don't want this to be the ES. I want this to be, you know, like the NQ. So then you can change it. Like, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do. You see what I'm saying? So just go ahead and now this is a NQ chart. So let's say you want that to be a 10-minute RSI. So we're gonna now we're looking at a 10-minute NQ chart. You see what I'm saying? So just go ahead and play around with this and get familiar with it. And so now I'm going to show you the Fibonacci extensions and retracements in the next video. So let's get ready and go to that video. Alright guys, in this video we're going to do a Fibonacci extensions, retracements, and the support lines. So first we're going to come here to Fibonacci retracements. Click on this pencil right here, and this is going to be the Fibonacci, and you're going to right click on there and go to properties. And so you can do whatever you want. You can extend the lines to the left, as you can see. Watch, all of this is going to move to the left. Or you can extend the lines to the right, like that. I don't really do that either. And you can put the text location to the extreme left, but sometimes the chart, like the price action, will get in the way, so I put everything on the extreme right. Okay, so you can play with it and see whatever you like, but most importantly, you want to come down here to these levels and you want to edit. And so when I first started, there was like all different types of numbers, but we're only dealing with the 0, 38, 50, 61, 76, and a 100. So if you see a 23, go ahead and delete that. And if there's anything after the 100, sometimes there is, like on the Thinkorswim, go ahead and delete that. So once again, 0, 38, 50, 61, 76, and 100, and press OK. And that's going to be basically the default. So save that as the default. Then default already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, you do. And so that should be good from now on. Okay, so that's what you want to be seeing, something that looks like that. Then now we're going to go to the extensions, and we're going to put an extension on there. Okay, then we're going to go to properties. Okay, I have mine on the inside left. And there's only 3 price levels. There's the 0, the 76, and the 100. I believe there's like a 50 and a 23. You delete all of that. So come down here and press remove. We're only dealing with the 0, the 76, and the 100. Okay, so go ahead and do that. You're going to go to your template. You're going to save it as a default. You see this one right here, I have it with the 38. I don't use it. Matter of fact, I'll just I'll load it real quick just so you guys can see. It says with the 38. I haven't seen this in a while. You see how it has a 38. But once again, guys, we're not dealing with that. So just go ahead, and I'm actually going to remove that from my computer because I don't use it. But the default should be the 0, the 76, and the 100. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next thing, the horizontal line. So put this, make it a blue color. If this is going to be, if blue is the default, I think white is the default. I'm not sure because I've had this for over a year now. But what you're going to do is come to the line, and you want it to be solid, a 100, and you want the width to be a 3. And so this one is a deep sky blue. This is my fib to the upside. So it's really my default because I mainly do this for fibs to the upside. So just know that you can call it you know, fib upside if you want, but just know this is the fib to the upside. Okay, so then I want you to put another one on there. All right, and once again, it's all going to be solid, and this one is going to be like a yellow color. Okay, and you're going to call this one a fib to the downside. Okay, fib downside, which I already have right here. Okay, so then you're going to come, you're going to make another one. And this one is going to be red. This is going to be your resistance line. So if there's ever like a resistance line, okay, you're going to save that, and that's going to be your resistance. Okay, so go ahead and save that. Then you're going to make another one. Okay, this right here is going to be green. This is going to be your support. Okay, so we're going to find green. Okay, you can make it a lighter green if you want, and that's going to be your support. Save that. Okay, then you're going to make another one. Okay, this is going to be a brown color. So, or you can choose whatever color you want. Let me find brown. All right, saddle brown. See how that looks. And this is going to be your daily SMA, your single moving average. Remember on the daily chart, okay, your SMA. And so when there's like a moving average, you're going to put that line there. So go ahead and save that. And then for you're going to do another one. We're going to put this orange, and I actually have to do this on my chart as well. This is going to be like a bigger picture Fibonacci extension. Like on the 30-minute chart, you won't use it that much, okay? But orange red, I kind of like the orange better. So dark orange. All right, I'll just roll with dark orange for now. Okay, and we're gonna call this you know, big fib extension. Okay, which is like a bigger picture Fibonacci extension. Okay, and so what that will do is that will let us know, hey, this might be a Fibonacci extension level up here. Okay, so that pretty much concludes this one. I just wanted to show you guys how to do the Fibonacci retracements, the extensions, and the horizontal lines. And we're going to use these lines on the next video when we start doing our pre-market study and preparation. We'll be putting these lines on the chart. So with that, let's go to the next video, guys. Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about order execution. So the first thing you want to do in the Ninja Trader is you want to come up here to this button. This is your chart trader. This is how I manage my positions. I'm obviously going to be using a sim account for this because I'm going to be making some orders with you guys. But before we get into that really quick, guys, if you come to the command center or the control center, if you go to tools and you click hotkeys right here, these are your hotkeys to get in and out of position, where you can you know, use your keyboard to control your order execution. So you have hotkeys for you know, Fibonacci retracements. So this one is Alt W. You can click to record the hotkey. So I'm gonna do Alt G.
and now it's Alt G for a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, and then so if I go you know, to the chart and press Alt G, then it'd be a Fibonacci. And so for order entry, they also have buy market is Alt 1, and sell market is Alt 2. So you can do whatever you want. I really don't use hotkeys at all. I prefer to just use the chart trader. So that's pretty much what I do. You guys remember I did Alt G. So normally you come to Fibonacci retracements, but as you can see, it says Alt G. And so now I'm gonna do Alt G on my chart, and now I can do a Fibonacci. So you guys do whatever you want on that. I don't really mess with it too much, just wanted to cover it pretty quickly. So we're gonna come back here to this chart trader, and so we're gonna create spreads. So the main one that I use for the ES is a 5-3. So 5 is a 5-point profit target, and 3 is a 3-point stop loss. So that'd be 250 because it's $50 a point. But you can always adjust it. So I'm gonna do a short right here. Once again, this is the sim. I'm just using it for an example, and I'm gonna go ahead and enter.
Order filled.
And so you can see right there. Now I'm in the trade. I got the stop up here. This is a 3-point stop loss. So my entry is 2559.75. And so 3 points at 2562.75. That's my stop loss. Is if the price hits that, it's going to automatically exit the trade. And down here from 2559.75, 5 points down, that's 2554.75. Okay, and so that's my profit target. Also, you see how this says it said 0.25 a moment ago. You can use that. It gauges. It's moving real slow right now because this is not this is the overnight. But you see how it says negative 0.25 right there. You can come here and right click and click on properties, and instead of it profit and loss display unit, instead of it being in points, you can choose currency, which is the dollar. Okay, so now it's 0.00 instead of 0.25. So instead of the tick, it's going to be a dollar amount. Okay, so all right, so now I'm down $37. And so another thing is you can move these profit targets. Okay, so you see how this is 25.54 down here. I can move this up. I can click it and I can move it all the way up to right there. And this stop right here, I can bring it all the way down. Let's see if I get stopped out. One tick away. Come on now. Okay, I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. See if I can get stopped.
Stop filled.
Okay, so I got stopped out. Okay, and so there's I'm gonna show you how to do it. So this one, I'm gonna click on edit. So this is a 12 tick stop loss, which is 3 points. Remember, it's 4 ticks to a point. And then I have a 5-point profit target. Remember, it's 4 points. So 4 times 5 is 20. So that's the 5-3 spread. Okay, that's what I call it. 5-3 spread. Okay. Then you have your bigger picture, which is like a 20 to 10. Now, 20 points in the NQ, that's a lot of points. I mean, for the ES, that's a lot of points. I usually do the larger ones. So 10.5, that's my NQ. That's the basic that I use. So I'm risking $100 to make 200. Then I got the 10.7. I got the 15.10. That's 15 points. And I'm risking 10 points. So that's 200 per contract to make 300. Then you got the 20.10. So these larger ones right here, I mainly use these for the NQ, and the smaller ones, the 5.3 and the 7.5. So you can pretty much do whatever you want, because like I said, guys, you can adjust it. So I can
I can do a 1510. So
Order filled.
all right, so now I'm in the trade, and as you can see, 15 points in the NQ, that's pretty big. All right, so I mean 15 points on the ES, that's pretty big. So this is usually for the NQ, but as I stated, guys, you can just do one if you want, and then you can just move the stop loss to wherever you want it to be. So let's say you know, you want the stop loss to be at the low, so you would just move this up to the low, because you see this is kind of a Fibonacci retracement right here. All right, that's kind of like a 61. So now that the market's moving higher, we're going to put the stop loss you know, below there, move it up a little bit. You see, so it doesn't really matter what numbers that you choose, because ultimately you can just move them. You can move this down. You see what I'm saying? You can tighten the spread. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this trade.
Order filled.
And so another thing that you guys can do is you can do an auto break even. So I'm just gonna do let's see, I'm gonna do a 2-6. All right, just so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna do a 2-6 spread. So that's gonna be 6-point profit target and 2-point stop loss. So you come here to custom. All right, so a 2-point stop loss, that's gonna be 8 ticks. 6-point profit target, that's gonna be 24 ticks. And so that right there, that's gonna be my 6-2 spread. Okay, it's a 3-to-1 profit, 3-to-1 ratio. So now you have this thing called the stop. Now you have this thing called the stop strategy, and I don't really use this, but I want to show it to you. And you can do an auto break even. So if you do an auto break even, let's say you want to do it at halfway. So it's a 6-point profit target, a 6-2 spread. So halfway, I'm gonna go ahead and break it even. Okay, so I'm gonna call that a 3-point even. Okay, and so now I'm gonna save that as my 6-2 spread with a 3-point even. So what's gonna happen is, if I was to take the trade,
order filled.
Okay, now I'm in the trade. I got a 2-point stop loss. You see, 61.75 to 25.63.75. All right, I got a 6-point profit target, and if this reaches, this is what's going to happen, guys. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit here all day and wait for the price to go down. But with a 3-point even, once this gets to 3 points, so that would be like two, you know, halfway there, right around 3 points. What will happen is this right here will come down to the break-even point, which will be the entry price. Okay, that's what it will do. It'll break even. Okay, now the thing about that is I don't really do that, because there's times where you'll enter a trade and then it'll come back down and stop you out, and then it'll keep moving. So I don't really use the break even. So now I'm going to show you something else.
Order canceled.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this.
Order filled.
So I'm gonna show you the trail. So we're gonna use something else now, the auto trail. And what this does is it'll trail down. So as it's you know, as the price is moving down, the stop loss will trail down. I don't really use it because, like I said, guys, the price will come back up and stop you out, and then it'll keep going down or up. And I wouldn't recommend this. I'm just showing it to you. So you can do a profit trigger of 3 points, so that'd be 12 ticks. Then the stop loss, let's just say, is 2 points, so that'd be 8 ticks. And then the frequency will be every point, so that's 4 ticks. So once you get to 3 points, that's a profit trigger. All right, your new stop loss will only be 8 ticks, which is 2 points, and the auto trail will keep trailing every point. And so what will happen is it'll go like this. So let's say you enter right here, right? So let's say this is your entry. Bam, market's moving up, retracement, you enter right here, okay? As the price gets 3 points up, okay, this will start trailing like this, slowly but surely. Then once it comes to 25.57, then this will come up, you know what I'm saying? Then this will come up, and then if it goes up to 25.59, then it'll just keep trailing like that. Now that will be better for like intraday swing trading. Excuse me. For intraday swing trading, where you have like a wide stop loss. So I've taken trades like this where I'll have a deep stop loss like way down here. It's like an intraday swing trade where I'm willing to hold the trade for like 3 hours, and it'll slowly creep up, but you'll never really get stopped out. But if you only do like a 2-point stop loss, then the price will come up to 25.57, and then it come back down to 25.55, and it'll stop you out, and then it'll keep going, and you could have made all of that money, but you didn't because you had a trail. So that's why I don't recommend the trail, because the price will come up, the price will be moving, so it'll start here, it'll come here, then it'll get right here, and as you can see on this retracement, it stops you out and keeps going. So go ahead and make your spreads. You can do like a 3 to 6, which would be a 2 to 1. I'll show you mine again. But all of this stuff over here, the stop strategy, I don't use that stuff. So, this is the break even and the auto trail. I don't use that. So I just use a basic stop loss and a basic profit target, and then I adjust it as I go. Okay, so you can come here, you got the 10.5, the 10.7, the 15.10, the 15.7 for the NQ, and you got the 5.3, the 6.2, the 7.5. You can do whatever you want. So just make like 3 or 4 of them. Make like a intraday swing trade, which would be like a larger number. Then you can make like one that's just straight scalping, like, risking 2 points to get 4. And then, just take it upon yourself to come here, create a custom one, and you click on edit, and then you just put the stop loss at however many ticks, 40 ticks. That's a lot that's 10 points. And then 80, that's 20 points. So that would be just a ridiculous spread. You got a 10-point stop loss and a 20-point profit target way up here. So just go ahead and just play around with it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. So let's go to the next video. If you guys do not discipline yourself in all facets of your life, you ain't gonna make it, bro. And so the first thing I'm gonna talk about is always hanging out and partying all the goddamn time. Now, the market is closed on Friday night, so you can go out. The market is closed on Saturday night. But don't be out partying and having a jolly good time on Wednesday night, because the market is opening up tomorrow and you have to make money. You trying to trade with a hangover, you're just going to lose your money. So if you always partying all the goddamn time, always going out with the boys, you need to learn how to discipline yourself to only do that during the appropriate times of the week, which is mainly the weekend. Okay, if you always going out getting getting lit with the boys, there's a good chance that as a day trader you're not going to be that good. Okay, the second thing is alcoholism. If you always getting drunk all the time because you had a rough life and your daddy wasn't there, and your mom was mean to you when you were a kid, So you're saying, screw everybody, I'm just going to get drunk. You ain't going to make it as a day trader. If you getting drunk all the time, trying to trade with a hangover, or you got domestic violence in your home because you always drunk and you be fighting your girlfriend, you ain't gonna make it, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You have to clean yourself up. So if you got a problem with alcohol, I don't know, and to be honest, I really don't give a damn. But if you have a problem with alcohol, you need to fix that area of your life, or you ain't gonna make it, okay? Same thing with getting high all the goddamn time. Some of you dudes, every day you want to smoke weed and snort coke, doing cocaine and all. You ain't gonna make it, bro. You overdosing, well, not dying of an overdose, but you just being totally coked up, or you just a straight weed head all the time. That's not gonna produce a profitable day trader, okay? So if you're going to do your little smoking, do it on the weekend or do it in moderation. But if you're a pothead that's always rolling blunts at home and getting high all the time with the homies, you need to fix that area of your life or you ain't going to make it, okay? Same thing with tricking all your money off. The thing about tricking money is it involves being careless. You're just throwing money at ass and breasts and women and prostitutes and strip clubs. If you're a guy that's just blowing money all the time, you're not going to be that good of a day trader because you're going to be a gambler because you don't really care about money. So if you're the type of guy, if you want to go out with your boys and have some fun with some girls, that's fine. But don't be in a strip club every damn week going to see escorts and doing all of that type of stuff because you're just blowing money. And if you don't discipline yourself in that area of your life, when you're trading, you're just going to be gambling because in your real life, you're blowing money and money is not important because you're just blowing it and tricking it off on women, okay? So if you have a problem with this, you need to fix this area of your life or you ain't going to make it. And another thing, overeating. Okay, there's no 500-pound day traders. All right, like you guys have to have discipline. Okay, I'm not saying you have to eat and drink a green smoothie every day, but just go get a regular burger and that's it. You don't have to get a burger plus the large fry plus a large Coke plus a milkshake for later plus another Big Mac for later. You don't have to do all of that. So if you're someone that's extremely overweight, you're going to have to discipline yourself to eat more healthy if you want to be a good day trader, because it's all about discipline. If you don't have discipline in the other areas of your life, you're not going to have discipline as a day trader. So if you have a problem with overeating, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you because I had those same issues, as you can see right here. I went up to 300 pounds. I know how it feels to gain weight from depression and anxiety and pain of family drama, pain from relationships where, things didn't go in your life the way that they were supposed to. And because of that, you got depressed and you found comfort in food. I know what that feels like, but I personally had to fix my eating habits and my exercise habits, and I had to discipline myself to be able to be a disciplined day trader. Okay, so once again, guys, if you have issues hanging out all the goddamn time, if you're always getting drunk at home, if you're always smoking weed or whatever the hell else, if you always tricking your money off, or you overeating and just always stuffing your face all the goddamn time, you have to fix those areas of your life if you want to make it as a day trader. Once again, the lack of discipline will make you fail. If you are not a disciplined trader, you will blow up your account and lose all of your money. If you are not disciplined, you will not achieve your dreams, okay? And so, as I was doing trading combines, I didn't have the discipline all of the time. And as you can see, I broke a rule right here. Man, I had to reset the account. So I'm not a perfect trader. I've blown up accounts. So when you make mistakes, that's okay. You're probably gonna break a rule and lose money and have to do a reset. That's okay. Okay, failure is a part of the process, but a lack of discipline will ensure that you will fail and you will not make any progress. So the main thing, this is the last slide, brothers. You have to believe in yourself at all times. You are getting ready to take on a challenge that has a 90% failure rate, and nobody gives a damn about you. Nobody cares if your father wasn't in your life. Nobody cares if your grandma passed away when you were a kid. Nobody cares if your mom used to be a prostitute. Nobody cares if your father abused you. Nobody cares if your wife left you or if your wife turned your daughter against you. Nobody cares in the stock market about anything that you've been through. Every day I wake up, I'm not worried about a guy paying child support. I'm not worried about a guy who got fired from his job 2 weeks ago and now he's stressed out. I'm trying to make money for myself. So if you always going to wake up in the morning feeling sorry for yourself, brother, you ain't going to make it. You have to believe in yourself at all times, and you got to conquer the challenge. You have to climb that mountain, brother. You have to put in that hard work and dedication and have the full confidence at all times that you can achieve the dream. Okay? So that's going to conclude this video. I'll catch you on the next one, guys.